Good morning, Marshall. Great to have you. All right, so if we check out the news that we have on CRISPR, it's actually for a win for genomics in general, I guess I should say. And if we look at what we have for the Intellia development, it says that about slicing through the sector. So let me pull up that news. There we go. Pop it over here. So Intellia actually used CRISPR's gene editing software, and that's why you see big movement for CRISPR, but then it's big enough news that it actually is moving genomics in general. And we'll take a look at some other things like ARKG, for instance, being a genomics ETF. And that's just, that's awesome for us. So once this opens up, as a matter of fact, right there, it's even in the breaking news that you see for Seeking Alpha, hot stocks, NTLA, at least gene editing stocks higher. There we go. And then we'll zoom in so we can read this a little bit better. So gene editing stocks are starting the week with a big advance following major breakthrough for the industry. So that line right there for the industry. So you're going to see genomic stocks in general up with it. Early trial data from Intellia Therapeutics, whose shares are up 33% pre-market. So we'll take a look at NTLA as well. From phase 1 trial of CRISPR. So phase 1, they still have phase 2 clinicals. They still have phase 3. So watching for strong positive coming up and watching for those FDA action dates that we would have for NTLA. Those are going to be further catalysts that we have. So they used CRISPR candidate showing the ability to genetically edit cells inside a liver. So that was treating the one liver disorder. We go down here. Let me see. Where does it say? Check this out. That for the CRISPR technology was previously restricted to editing cells outside of the body or in the eye, and now they're actually doing something in the liver. So not only is that a win for Intellia, but also for CRISPR, the fact that it's within the body, so it's expanding their ability to work in the genomic space more throughout the human body. This time around, researchers injected a CRISPR drug into the blood of people with, oh boy, now medical terms, transthyretin amyloidosis. There you go, a destructive disease that causes fatal nerve and heart disease. So being able to treat that, I don't know how common that is, and that's also something that you would want to look at. That's going to be really financially impactful as far as the stock goes, is the how big the market opportunity is for this sort of treatment through Intellia, but then also CRISPR being like the background or the technology that backs their treatment. I mean, that's just huge for CRISPR, and that's why we see the price action that we do. The results showed that editing technology was able to nearly shut off production of the toxic protein generated by the livers by knocking the gene's activity. So that's really cool. So they say, while it's too early to tell whether CRISPR treatment will ease symptoms of the disease or the problems will surface over time, there's still a lot to be excited about. Absolutely, there's a lot to be excited about. This is something that if you listen to Kathy Wood, if you go back in time and listen to her talk about all the promise that she saw in the genomic space, and if you also look up ARK Invest Genomics on Twitter, I believe it is, you can see a lot that's going on there. This is a very early stage technology, but by being able to edit genes in this way, this is just an AI is going to be something, and machine learning is just going to continue to fuel the fire that we have here moving forward in the genomic space. And then when you look down here, you can see that you have other stocks moving in sympathy with it. So 33% up for NTLA, which is the company with the news, and then Beam, Edit, CRISPR, ARKG up 2.5%. Last I saw, I think that they were actually up over 3. We'll take a look at that. Regeneron 1.7. BNGO even is moving. I just realized I'm not sharing my screen with you guys. I'm sorry for being stingy. There we go. And if I had my comments up, you'd probably see that as well. All right, there we go. So now I'm sharing it. So Marshall, I'm sorry. And Jesus, I advise that if you feel strongly about this area, then that would be something that, most likely won't get your investment. And, that's completely understandable. And I think that there's definitely a lot to be said about that debate. I remember in the 90s that there was a lot of talk about that when it came to cloning. And while that's outside the scope of this channel, that's certainly something that would come in to determine whether or not somebody would actually back this sort of technology, or if they would just stay out of the technology in general. Oh my goodness, there we go. Finally. I clicked the button, but I guess I missed the button. But now you guys should be able to see my screen. It should work out just fine. All right, let's go back to WEBULL. Got about 5 minutes until market open here. Oh no, I'm sorry. For some reason my clock on WEBULL is behind. That's not good. The market is open because it's 9:30. There we go. And there it jumped for us. So we have the market open. We'll see if people do some profit taking when we take a look at CRISPR here. All right, so there we go. A little bit of drop right at the open. We'll see how that takes place. It looks like if we look at the level 2 on CRISPR, that right around, if it quits jumping on me, it looks like around like 156 or 157 is where we're getting price walled. Lots of selling pressure on CRISPR. Let's take a look at NTLA. Metamaterials, I see when I look over here. We'll look at those next. They're 2x at the market open here. NTLA is currently up almost 60% in their share price, and massive volume right at the open here. It looks like we're currently trading about 3 million shares or so in the first 2 minutes of the market open, and you can just see that news rip upward for them. It looks like when you look at the after hours, I wonder if some of this news came out. Actually, let me look. No, this is really early pre-market. I'm sorry. The after hours down here traded sideways. So the pre-market moving up from 114, peaking at 144, and we have fairly even buying and selling pressure. It's looking almost symmetric right now. So we'll see where that price happens to lock in and where it ends up settling. There we go. So this is the 5-minute chart that we're looking at here. And you can see that we're getting decent sell side pressure. And after a run up like this during the pre-market hours, you can absolutely and most definitely get a lot of profit taking. We have the 50-period moving average here at about $130. We almost came down and tagged that. That could be some sort of area of support for us. It's also retracing significantly into this movement that we see with the candles here. So we'll see how that plays out over time. I want to take a look at BNGO because they're caught up in Genomics, but they're also, there we go. They're in Genomics, but then they were also added to the Russell Small Cap 2000, I believe was the news that came out for BNGO. And they have a price target right now, 12-month price target, about $10 per share, so about a 25% upside from where they currently sit. And you can see them moving along with that Genomics news that we saw and the Russell Small Cap. Let's go to the news here so we can see that. There you go. BNGO added to membership of U.S. Small Cap Russell 2000 Index. So that's one of the reasons why it's moving, but it's also Genomics play, so it's also going to be moving in sympathy with the other genomic stocks that we have. And like I said, we do have that $10 price target given to us recently for BNGO, representing about a 25% upside. And if we look at the analyst estimates for it, you can see that 10 is actually the low that's out there right now to the 4 analysts that are out. So there's a significant upside if this is a company that you support as an investor in the genomic space. This is certainly one of those areas where you could stand to make significant gains. There we go. You could also stand to make significant losses, though. So you also want to be careful with that. That right now they have some really great technology when it comes to identifying structural variants, but it's the single nucleotide variants that we want to watch out for, because that's when it becomes revolutionary, and that would be a very big catalyst for them moving forward. They need market penetration. They need more research papers that are out there. talking about the different use cases that we would have for their technology, and those are things that would definitely help them out. All right. What else did I want to look at? Let's take a look at MMAT, see what's going on there. Metamaterials Inc. Wow. Significant gap up. Let's see what the news was. What sort of catalyst they're telling us about. Oh, Metamaterials, formerly Torchlight. Got it. Oh, so this was the merger that we have. There you go. Torchlight Energy implements 1-for-2 reverse split. Okay. All right. So doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot to see there then between the reverse split. So they consolidated shares. So that's why we get a price doubling. But even then, it's dropping from that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with them moving forward. What else do we have moving? Oh, I know which one I wanted. I wanted to look at ARKG. There you go. All right. So when we're looking at ARKG, the Genomics ETF that we have from ARK Invest, also having some excellent positive price action and also significant volume coming for them. And this is one that sold off big time with the high growth plays. And, you know, you had a lot of fun revolving around ARK itself after having just a rampant 2020 that coming into 2021, things were good. February hit and it's like, oh, Cathie Wood's down 30%. Is she a has-been? Is she washed up? And just recently, Goldman Sachs said that that the strong finish for 2021 is going to be the high growth and technology plays, and where you have those innovation type plays. So even Goldman Sachs themselves indirectly is sort of in support of what Cathie Wood has been saying, that the big sell-off has only accelerated their investment window in order to hit the targets that they were going for, and now they're expecting an even bigger increase over their 3 to 5 year time horizon. I just want to go out to the daily chart for ARKG quick. There we go. So you can see they peaked at about $115 per share, and they sold off big time along with the rest of high growth and tech and everything. And 513 was that magic day, and their low point on that day was $72 per share, and now they're up $21 since then, so almost 30% up. And you can see that they're gapping up today on that positive news, and we'll see how the volume plays out. And where does that gap put us? If we go up there, puts us just up above this previous high that they had, and we're also starting to turn around on the 50-day simple moving average that we have, and then we're up above the 200-day simple moving average that I also have on here. So we want to see this starting to turn around and starting to cross back toward the slower moving average that we have up top to continue that bullish momentum that we have going right now. So we are trading somewhat near resistance. Looks like we have room up to about, where's the high top of that one? 95.25, so another $2 per share to bump up against resistance. We could still just be peekabooing. This is a daily chart, so we could just see a little bit by the end of the day, a wick, and then closing right around this top that we had back here at about $93 per share. So we'll watch and see how that plays out. And if we're going to fall back down within this gap, it looks like we have room to fall down to 92. And if we close up that gap, let me see a little bit more of this. If we close up that gap, we have room back down to about $90 per share. Taco Friday, hello. There we go. That's a pretty big drop on a single day for Ford. We can take a look and see if there's any sort of catalyst that's taking place that's pushing that stock price down. So it's dropping about 2%, but we're staying above that low, and we actually have a fairly nice pennant formation shaping up over time for that one. So this could still possibly break to the upside, and we'll have to just see how that's going to play out for us. We're bullish as per both moving averages that are there, and let's slap up the Bollinger Bands. We're right around the mean, so this could still very much go in either direction given those recent prices that we had. You can see the volatility is coming down through the narrowing of the Bollinger Bands. Let's take those off, and let's put up the RSI. So we're still above 50, so we're still in bullish territory. You can see we went a little bit overbought. It dropped since then, but we haven't returned back to those lows where we're at down here, where we're getting bearish signals from it before it returned higher again. Put the MACD up. And in the MACD, it looks like we had a sell signal back here. And as of right now, we're not quite reaching a buy signal. But what we want to watch is building momentum in the RSI as this moves forward. And that could be a sign that we're going to have another bull run take place for Ford Motor Company. Just some things to watch for, some things to look out for. Workhorse. What news do we have on Workhorse? There we go. Looks like we have a tiny little wedge formation coming out there, and it had a news flag. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's on the Seeking Alpha Catalyst watch. If I recall correctly, it was more the options activity or the implication for volatility for their share price. So really, we're just looking for contract news that we actually have people who want that there's a big demand for Workhorse's products. Once we have that demand for the vehicles, then we could start to see that price action move. Right now, the slow moving average is negatively sloped. So a little bit of a bearish sign. We also had that cross where the faster moving one is down below it, but it is starting to turn upward. So maybe we could possibly see a turnaround. It was nice to see that price support at 1368. While we're on EV, oh yeah, SoFi. I'll go to SoFi next. I want to take a quick look at NIO here. Big thing about the EVs is that NIO, Li, Xpeng, Tesla, they're going to be reporting deliveries on Thursday of this week. I believe July 1st, they put those out there. And really, we're looking for them to meet their production targets, or if we're going to see a huge movement in the price, we want to see a beat on those. So for NIO, it's something like over 8,200 vehicles is what we're looking for. That would end up exceeding, not only would it put a record amount of deliveries in for NIO for June, but it would also exceed their expectations of 21,000 to 22,000 deliveries for NIO for the month of June. And like I said, I believe that's Thursday, July 1st is when that comes out. Excellent looking RSI. It looks like we just had a sell signal thrown, but we are starting to trade sideways, so it's going to be hard to see what's going in the MACD, but we still have that bullish behavior taking place. There we go. All right, we're sitting right around that resistance, right around that $46 mark. I think the deliveries, if we get strong delivery news, that can push us up to 50, possibly even have us break 50. In the level twos, we have decent amount of sell side pressure starting at like $47. So this could be held down below 47, at least during the current time in trading there. It got pushed down a little bit stock price wise, a bit of selling. Let's look intraday. NNDM made it to $9. Awesome. I made a video on NNDM this morning and I didn't get a chance. I was actually editing it, and that's why I was a few minutes late getting on here. I just have to export it and upload it to YouTube, and it's ready to go. We'll also take a look at NNDM. They actually have a really cool chart pattern going on that I want to take a look at. All right, so we did peak out at $47 for NIO, and you can see right now there's just a battle being fought between buy and sell sides according to level twos. At least on the 30-minute chart, it's saying that it's overbought right now. Very strong green candle. Like I said, with this really could be showing us what it's going to look like leading into their deliveries, that there's a high expectation going into their deliveries about beating that expectation. If we fall short of the 21,000 vehicles, if we fall outside that range to the low side, we could see a significant price drop in their stock price. And so we want to watch out for that on Thursday. And if I'm remembering correctly, because it's over in China where they're doing the reports, that it happens prior to the market opening. So we should actually know that. Let me see. Probably by end of trading day Wednesday, we should see about the end of the interesting stuff, or maybe people anticipating what's going to happen the next day. So the pre-market hours could be very interesting for us on Thursday for NIO, depending on if that news is out there about their deliveries. Xpeng and Li also, we want to hear about their deliveries, Tesla's deliveries, of course. All of those things. I think it's going to be a big week for EVs leading up to Thursday. And then if we skyrocket by then, we could see some profit taking. If they kind of hesitate before then, sort of anticipation of those numbers coming out, then we could see significant movement from their stock prices following that time. There we go. Oh, about NNDM. I did put an order in this morning. I put in for a couple call options at the $10 strike price for July the 16th. So that could pan out pretty well for me. If that does happen, I'd be taking advantage of the different change of the change in the price, the delta that we would have if we do move up to that $10 mark. So that could work out pretty well. It should at least make for a nice dinner or something like that. Let's see. SoFi, I thought I would take a look at. And then we'll get to NNDM. Actually, I need to check my orders and see if my order went through or if the price jumped before I could even get to it. There we go. All right, just checking it right now. The price actually did slip right past me. There we go. All right, there we go. I'm gonna have to put out that buy order into my Discord for those call options. So if you go to my Patreon, get access to my Discord, you'll see whenever I do those buys and those sells. Like I said, I had that order out pre-market, so I couldn't announce anything. But now that it actually went through, I can go ahead and put that call order out there. So on SoFi, they bottomed out. If we go back to the daily chart on Friday, and this was pointed out in my Discord, somebody's talking about SoFi. This is actually one of Stockmo's babies. This is something that he's bullish on. If you go and watch his videos, if you search Stockmo SoFi, it's not one that I've covered, so I can't send you any of my videos. But we had a significant drop in the price, and then today it looks like we opened lower, but now we're starting to get back in that territory. So we'll see if we make it up over that 50-period simple moving average for that resistance. I think it's the banking charter that they're after, if I'm remembering the details that he gave. I just didn't do any of my own research on this yet, so I don't have a position in this at all. But you can watch his videos, see what he has to say. And if that bank charter that they're waiting on, when they do get it, that should be very good for their price moving forward. You can see I had that trend line across the bottom and said if we broke that, then we could see a breakout this way down south. And so that's what happened. It did break out, but now it's starting to recover a little bit. And like I said, we want to make it over that 50-period simple moving average that we have there. Trying to see what price that's happening at. Let's close out the MACD and the RSI. There we go. Looks like it's around. Actually, I could just do this. Put that up there, 1883. Put that auto back on so that it automatically adjusts the viewing window. There we go. Perfect. What else we got? Yeah, so we could see a decent bounce from here. Like I said, we need to break that resistance. Once we do that 1883-ish, 1884 mark that we have in the 50-period simple moving average, we could be back into that bullish territory where we could start having that act as support rather than resistance. But we need the body of the candle to largely be above that and close above that in order for us to actually have it considered broken resistance. All right, NNDM. There we go. Give me just one moment. Sorry about that. I had realized I knocked out my power cord and then I wasn't getting a charge, and then it said, hey, your laptop's going to die. So I apologize for stepping off camera there for a moment, but I'm back. All right, so in NNDM, we made it up over $9. Awesome. So I have a video. Like I said, I made it, but I didn't get a chance to post it yet because I was getting ready to do the live stream that we have here. There we go. So we're actually bumping up against resistance right around that $9 mark. And something that I want to show you, if I can zoom in here, we have a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders. So we have this shoulder right here. We have the head of it right here, another shoulder. And then what we have right here at about the $9.10 mark, this is the neckline that we need to break above. Now we have this high peak here at 933. And then after that, we have a significant amount of room up to about $10 per share. So if we break that neckline, especially if you see a large volume spike leading up to it, that volume could lead us to a bullish breakout on this that we would break to the upside. If we break 10, we have room up to here, which the high was 11.57. So over $10, we have room for like another $1.50 of movement before that happens. And then something else that we have that's pretty awesome to watch. We had that little death cross, if you want to talk about that. And then it's actually leading up now where we have two positive slopes. So we had that little switch from decreasing to increasing. And now after that, when we have the faster moving average crossing the slower one, that's going to cause a golden cross, which is another bullish sign for us. So we could see NNDM possibly break that resistance. Some of the momentum that we see could come from what we had through Reddit. There was a post that was put out there reiterating a bullish case for NNDM, technology-wise and product-wise, service-wise. It is very early for them that they're almost pre-revenue. They have such minimal revenue that it's only a couple tens of millions, I think, in revenue. However, they're trying to move into more marketing, and they were waiting to rotate out of the pandemic. And I have mentioned their share dilution in the past. They've done a ton of it. Even after they said, we're good, we have enough cash to float us through the rest of the pandemic, then they hit us with one more, and it was a big one, like a $500 million capital raise or so. So there are some things that'll cause people to hesitate on this. I think also in that Reddit post said that according to FinViz, I think they were using that there was 38% short interest, which if that's the case and this ends up running for like a squeeze or something like that, we could see a gamma squeeze followed by a short squeeze. And through the Reddit community, that's something that we've seen before. And so if we really do have such a high short interest on something like NNDM, then we could see some really crazy price action in the short term that might take us back up to close to some of these previous prices that we saw. I haven't confirmed that for myself, but those are definitely things to talk about and to consider when we look at their price action that they've had. Something huge about NNDM is their cash position. Puts them at like $6 per share on cash alone. So that's a 50% fall from where they're trading at right now. However, it does give us that sort of cushion. So when they were trading at $5.39, they were actually trading below where their cash position has them at. And then we saw that rip once people started to notice that was the case. We started to see a lot of the price come back with a lot of the other high growth stocks. We have a decent looking flag formation out of that. And if we go off of that, then we have room for another $2 from this bottom. So up to about $9.30. And you can see how much sell side pressure there is right now. We'll see if there's enough buying pressure coming through to melt some of that away. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, yeah. American Airlines. Actually, I have a few things to update you guys on. So I'll talk about American Airlines first. I'm actually flying on American Airlines tomorrow. So I hope that they have, and on Tuesday, July 6th, I'm also flying on American Airlines. So I really, really, really hope that they have pilots for my flights both of those days. Because, well, first, I'd like to get to Jamaica for my honeymoon, which I leave tomorrow. So I won't be live streaming. And then I get back on the 6th. And so hopefully they have pilots to get me back again, because again, that's American Airlines. And otherwise I'm stuck in Jamaica, which I guess I could do live streams from Jamaica. And after the 6th, it's no longer my honeymoon. So maybe I would get away with it. We'll see. But yeah, if they're lacking pilots, that's not necessarily good news. And I don't know how quickly they would be able to recoup them. It looks like we have room. This bottom was around $21.02, so $21, and then this one $20.62. I would say that 20, like from 20 up to 21, that $1 range is where we're going to find that area of support. depending on how badly this is received, usually it's an overreaction followed by a little bit of a recovery from that. We do need to make it. It looks like the 50-period simple moving average was actually a fairly good line of resistance for us for a while. And now we have just these candles to go off of for support right now, at least when we look at this on the daily chart for American Airlines. So keep your fingers crossed that they have pilots for my flights. I'd appreciate it. That's something that I know my wife, when she read about the trouble that American Airlines was having, that it was canceling all sorts of flights because they didn't have they didn't have the staff to fly them and everything. That was definitely troublesome news. But so far, we haven't received any notification that our flights have been impacted in any way. We do have some buy side pressure building for American Airlines, so I'm going to check that out. I wanted to quickly address, before I get on to some of these other stocks, video quality wise, I have ordered a new modem and or a new router, I should say. Well, modem router combo, and this one has a lot more throughput, a lot more. Well, right now I'm running on Wi-Fi. I'm going to switch over to being hardwired, and that should fill out some of that 1080p high def that we're looking for. So if you're experiencing any sort of downgraded video, I believe it's due to the Wi-Fi, but when I make the switch, it should be something that clears it up, that you get a much clearer picture on your screen. So it should enhance the visual experience when you watch these videos. There's not much to do about my face to enhance that visual experience unless I wear a mask or something like that. So you guys are stuck with that one, but it should be less pixely sometime soon. CCIV up almost 8%. There we go. Nice. So they're starting to bump up against resistance, but they're at $27 per share. Absolutely love Lucid, and we'll see if there's some sort of catalyst. It looks like we actually have quite a bit of green in the market right now. I'm going to move on to cryptos soon, but I want to look intraday and see what we have going on for CCIV. Excellent volume, so there might be some sort of news catalyst that we have going on there. Let's take a look. So that's July 22nd, shareholder vote for the SPAC deal. Well, I think we knew about that already. However, also, I mean, could just be good news for us. It could be something that the price runs up until that point in time and then slows off after that time. Those are just things that we're going to have to watch out for CCIV as it does move forward. I think Lucid is going to have a great time in the markets when they hit production, and they can't hit production soon enough. And I hope that they exceed the production numbers and that we don't have any further delays when it comes to getting the Lucid onto the road for the consumers. I think that that's going to be excellent for their stock prices. Lots of sell side pressure building. It looks like right around the 27, 26 or so. Yeah, 27, 25, 27, 26. Lots of sellers coming in, and we'll see if the buy side pressure rises up to meet that. All right, let's check out. Go to Bitcoin first. Last I looked, they were back up over 30,000. Actually, yeah, it looks like pushing on. Maybe it even broke 35,000 at one point. Nope, close. 34,395 for today's candle. What do we have? 34.6. So it hasn't quite made it back up to 35. Actually, I'm sorry, it did. I was thinking I was looking at the daily chart. Now I'm at the daily chart. There we go. I thought it broke 35,000, 35.3 for the day so far. And we got a little doji candle shaping up here for us. And looks like, at least on the daily chart, that we're still bumping up against support. I'm sorry, against resistance right around 35,000. And then it has fallen back down since then. But we're sort of establishing a range where we can at least expect those Bitcoin prices to be. And we should see that increase in hash rates, I believe, is one of the positive things that we have going for us that came out yesterday, that it's starting to recover how many the hash rate for the Bitcoin. So increasing those the transaction confirmations and how quickly the Bitcoins are produced and everything. Definitely not done running. We'll just have to watch and see if it's going to fall off before it does that. Although it's hit some pretty hard support time and time again 31,000 down to about 29,000. So about a $2,000 area of support that we have for Bitcoin. Dropping below 29,000 is going to be big. Going up above 42,000 is going to be big. Everything in between is just more oscillating, more volatility, sideways trading. We still need that major breakout moment for Bitcoin going forward. Let's check out Ethereum. There we go. Ethereum back up over 2,000. It's taken a while. It was definitely easier for Bitcoin to reclaim 30,000 than it was for Ethereum to reclaim 2,000. Ethereum, I think, is just going to be a monster over time, and it's just going to take a while to get there. I have some lines drawn on here for support and resistance, and you can see right now we're sort of in the middle of all that. Excellent news that we have here. Besides this dip, we kind of broke down below the 200 period moving average, but now we're trading back up above it. So now it could end up being support for us, and we'll see if we close above 2,000 for the day, or if we're going to drop back down below it to about 1,900. So we'll watch that as that plays out. Ethereum related currencies like a Polygon is one that I don't think it's recovered as much as Ethereum has recently. Let's check it out. We can see more on the 30-minute chart for this one. Yeah, about $1.10 or so. So it's about half price to what it was when Mark Cuban came out and said that he was bullish on Polygon. And here you can see how this chart is shaping up, and actually it looks like it's flipped almost from what well, this is just the 30-minute one. Let's zoom out. There we go. You can sort of see that build that it has on the 30-minute chart, where actually we've turned around this way, that we might get that a little bit of a bullish movement, at least in the short term. You can see the support that we have right around $1. So honestly, had I been paying closer attention this weekend and I saw it drop down to that $1 mark, or maybe even back over here, back on, wow, June 22nd, had I seen that one where it dropped below $1, I have done some purchasing since then, but I definitely didn't get a hold of that window. I just don't follow crypto to the minute all the time. I watch a lot with stocks, and I watch some with cryptos, but I definitely don't watch minute by minute on any one of them. I usually go day by day to watch those take place. And so if we go out to the daily chart for Polygon, there we go. And you're not going to see a whole lot on WEBULL yet. Over time, you'll be able to see more, but they just started coverage, it looks like, back in the beginning of June. And you can at least see a nice bottom of support. And like I said, right around that $3 marker, so is where we're finding a decent amount of support coming in for Polygon. There we go. Good morning, Lee. Hello, Sean. Fancy look at ITRM. Pending FDA approval until treatment in July. Big insider buying lately. Insider buying, always a good sign. Here, let's check it out. There you go. All right, so we're looking at the daily chart. Wow. Nice gap up today. We'll see how the volume shapes up. So we have all day. It has overcome the previous trading day's volume. Let's see what it was back on the 24th. All right. So on the 24th, we had a trading volume of about 34 million, and in about the first half hour of trading, we're looking at about 14 million. So about 20 million to go to make it up to where it was at on the 24th. And if FDA approval coming through, FDA action, which one did you say? FDA approval. Nice. Yeah, FDA approval can be absolutely huge for it. So this move that we see so far, causing it to go 15%, if they do get FDA approval, then that would be something that could cause them to make an even bigger jump, and that might validate some of these prices that you see here. It might actually push us past the analyst price targets. So we'll have to watch that. Currently at about $2.39. Excellently. I was just talking about NNDM earlier. I think it may have been before you joined. I also purchased a couple call options on it at the $10 strike price. There we go. And we're sitting currently at about 925. Excellent. So if we can make it up, where's this one at right here? So the high price here is 933. So breaking over 933 is going to be good for us. We need to hit that $10 mark or break through that $10 mark to really get some serious upside movement for this. And there's a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern that we have. We need a volume supported movement going this way to really confirm that we're going to see a breakout to the upside. So that's definitely something that we want to keep our eyes on. And I also mentioned short interest, that if there really is the short interest as reported on Reddit that they sourced through FinViz, if it really is around 38%, that could be a possible squeeze target for us moving forward as well. Might call it 750 for December, so I'm sitting pretty. Oh yeah, you're way in the money at this point. So a lot of intrinsic value going for you, Lee. Absolutely excellent. So for me, the call options that I bought, the $10 ones, were more taking advantage of the changes that you would have in Delta and Gamma, more so than keeping a hold of the options. I'm going to be in exercising them. I'll be trading the options because I feel like they're going to go up in price. I tried to nab the $10 call at, I think it was 46 cents, but then I ended up getting in at 55 cents. So it slipped past my initial order, and so I placed it at 55 cents instead, and so that's what I'm in for. And if we see it go up to $10 per share before July the 16th, then that's a lot of intrinsic value that would go along with it. And right now, there's still a decent amount of extrinsic value that I purchased with it, and hopefully this is the week that we see that take off, so that way I can trade it off again and actually make some money off of that deal. And I think that we're going to see that bullish action sometime in the near future. Very nice. Yeah, CCIV sitting pretty. Let's check out. I was talking about. There you go. Crypto earlier. Check out Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. There we are. So GBTC. Oh, and Lee, it seemed like you just joined. I don't know if you were here when I mentioned about video quality. So if it's still coming out fuzzy, I have a new modem router on its way that when I live stream, when I come back from my honeymoon, should be July 7th, as long as I get it set up in time. When I do that live streaming, I'll have it hardwired, and it's a router that has more throughput to it and should allow me to have faster upload speeds and get the high quality video moving out from there. I tried hardwiring to my current modem, and it started smoking. I literally had to unplug it because I thought it was going to catch on fire. So it's plugged in right now while I'm home, and I can monitor it. And but it seems to be, I think I started burning out one of the capacitors because I used an adapter that didn't have a it's not a transformer. Maybe it is. I'm not an electrician, but I don't think it stepped down the voltage or anything, and it started putting too much juice from my laptop into the router and started cooking it. So I'm glad I was able to salvage it, but I don't feel safe having it in my house. Plus, I did need to upgrade it, and it should improve the quality of the streams. So I look forward to seeing that play out. All right. So anyway, GBTC still very much tied to what was with Bitcoin, and they had some news recently. They dropped their price. Let me see. Stratus says the end of Grayscale lockup could create new pressures for Bitcoin. So there's a lockup period ending. Let me see. Bring up that article here. I'll bring it up where you guys can see it. CNBC, they don't always do the best, and if it's on their pro, then you'd have to see that. But it looks like it might be a video article only. But there's a lockup period expiring, which means that there could be a lot of sell pressure with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. That could depress their prices because they would sell their positions, and then Grayscale wouldn't be holding on to as much Bitcoin, so we could see a further drop in their price. So those are things that are being talked about. Although I don't know that I necessarily see selling just because the lockup period expired, especially while Bitcoin is near the bottom price. So I guess it would depend on what price they were in at, if it'd be worth it for them to take the profit, or what sort of bullish action is expected for Bitcoin going forward when you look at the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. There we go. All right, I just want to make sure I'm keeping up with the comments here. Oh, excellent, Sean. Thank you. All right, so this is Ethereum Bitcoin Trust, and I'm sorry, Ethereum Bitcoin Grayscale Ethereum Trust. There we go. So still coming out of Grayscale, and they are also looking to expand the number of trusts that they have. Polygon's mentioned in there. I think Cardano's another one. Polkadot. There's 13 different ones that they're considering moving forward with. And I think that came out maybe June 16th is when I saw the article for that one. So that's something to keep an eye on, and that could definitely move some of the prices that we would see with some of those altcoins. So you might want to look up Grayscales and the new trust that they plan to put out. And if you have any favorite cryptos that would be in there, then those would be ones that you could take a look at. Polygon is absolutely one of my favorites, and in my opinion, it's trading right now at a fairly depressed price. That we know that it's one that has a potential of over $2 per token, and right now it's trading closer to $1 per token. So those are definitely things I'm looking at. And Ethereum is, of course, my number one. I think it's a great platform, and when we're trading at around $2,000 per Ether, I think that with the EIP 1559 putting in its changes to sort of make more predictable gas fees, that's better for the developers and the users of the different dApps and that are out there, and the DeFi and DEXs. So that'll be excellent for those transactions, even if it doesn't necessarily lower the fees. Proof of stake will most definitely help out with that, and sharding will help out with that. And then we also bring the scalability into it. And it definitely needs that revamp for scalability. So we could see it sort of hesitate and flounder. But as we switch away from proof of mining, that also takes away some selling pressure. So we also have that going for us. So more transactions, better scalability going along with it, less selling pressure. There's also less, when we do switch to proof of work, there's also less Ethereum being put out as rewards. And there's also the base fee burn that comes along with the EIP 1559, which is the London hard fork, which is due out at the end of July. Lots of improvements coming to Ethereum. And I think all of them should be very, very good for the token's price along the way. And if you want some exposure through the regular markets, then Ethereum Grayscale is one of those places where you could get that. Oh yeah, that reverse merger for Torch. Yeah, where are they sitting at? That's them up there, 64%. They were sitting at 100%. Now they're down to 63. So they doubled, but now they're down significantly from there. Let's see what else we got moving. Anavax Life is still up there again. Workhorse is rocking around 15%. I don't think it was up that high when we looked at it before. Yeah, again there. Wow. Over $17 per share. That's excellent. So they're bumping up against resistance as well. Let's see if I can get that to come in. Yeah, right around at $18. As a matter of fact, where's our price wall? I jumped considerably just now. There it goes. So 1770, 1773. Looks like we just had a dump in the shares and a drop in the price. But it looks like, where was our high price today? I got to look intraday for this. It actually hit 18 and then came right back down. So 18 is probably going to be a fairly hard resist for us moving forward. And it looks like maybe 1775 might also be where we find that. Catalyst Watch, Wall Street Bets. So it could be that that sort of retail momentum that we're seeing with Workhorse. Maybe it's some of the infrastructure deal that we have going that Workhorse stands to benefit from it. There's a couple different things that could definitely be happening with Workhorse. There's the green tidal wave being talked about, but I don't see anything about specific contracts. And so that's what makes me think that this price action that we see is temporary. So it's possible with the position that I have, and I've sold several times. I've bought back in several times. I'm somewhere in the green. I'd have to check my cost basis to see exactly where I'm sitting for Workhorse. Definitely not out money, because I think, were they ones that went up over $40 per share? I think they were. Yeah, up to 42. I sold my initial spot, my initial holdings in this back when it was in the 40s, and now it's down in the 17s, and I have a much smaller position now. And I think right now my average price is high 16s, low 17s. So I'm even green on my current position here. And I think that this is momentum. We'll have to watch and see how that plays out. But we could definitely have a contract news is just going to be enormous. And they need to get the contracts out, and they need to get on the roads. And that's going to be actual lasting price action for Workhorse. Yeah, Lee, that was last time I saw it was about 8%. So we'll watch that, but I might close out my position temporarily and then buy back in when some of this fades away. Only because I do think that it is momentum, but I'm still bullish on Workhorse. I think they're a long shot. I think it's a high risk type play. I think if they ever came back down to $7 again, I'd probably load up on them. But it's definitely nothing that I'm going to go all in on. But I've definitely taken some profits when I've seen this sort of action before, when I believe it to be temporary. And I think that there's going to be other buying opportunities that are going to follow it. And this would be an example of one of those days. Let's take a look at some of our losers. There we go. Actually, let's go over here. We'll see what, there you go, top losers. I'm just trying to see if there's any that I've actually read about or heard of that's in here. I'll see Grove Inc. I think that was way up on Friday, if I'm remembering correctly. So for them to settle a little bit isn't too bad. And what do we got for the markets? NASDAQ up 0.7, Dow Jones 0.7, and the S&P kind of sideways according to what's here. So since we do have such a strong market, I think what I'll do instead is actually check out some of the other plays that I have. There we go. There we go. So like DraftKings, for example. GNOG? Oh, okay, GNOG. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at that one. So DraftKings, sort of struggling to find its place recently, high 56. This is one that I think NFL season and the results of the NFL season, and especially if it comes out as the leader in sports betting during the NFL season, I think that that's going to be huge for DraftKings. And we got a very muted receiving for that one last year during the NFL season because of COVID-19. So rotating out of the pandemic, and especially maybe even into 2022 for that NFL season, maybe we could even see some more popularity for that moving forward. But we know that that's a big money kind of sport, and that the fan following for the NFL is absolutely enormous and very passionate, and at least in the United States. I'm not sure in foreign markets how well American football is received or how well the NFL is followed. But like I said, DraftKings coming out on top of that would be absolutely huge for them moving forward. We're still state legalization is a big thing that we have, and then also the market penetration within those states and the competition that they face. And there's some pretty big competition. And DraftKings spends like there's no tomorrow. Because honestly, I don't believe that there is a tomorrow when it comes to marketing, trying to establish themselves as the leader. I think they're doing the right thing by front loading, trying to get those habits early for the people who are going to do online sports betting. That's their go-to. That's the number one thing. And overcoming like FanDuel, for example, and squishing them out of the market, I think is very much in the interest of DraftKings and well, ultimately their shareholders. Let's check out GNOG, because I just Taco Friday said that it's a loser today. This is one that's definitely not going to be a leader, but it is one that has significant growth potential. And while it's sitting down sort of at support. So I wonder what the news is. We had, wow, large volume spike, almost 5 million. Well, relative to the days that led up to it, nothing like what we saw over here. What was this one? 11 million. 11 million. Still sort of filling in this sort of wedge pattern that we have in the larger view of things. And they still, I could even adjust this line a little bit from that, something that I had drawn earlier that I was talking about wanting to see more for a breakout. Let's see if it allows me to, there we go. So off of these highs, it looks like we might be into that breakout, but possibly you could even make the argument that we're out over here and that we haven't really totally broken out of it yet. So we'll have to wait and see from this sell-off if it really is reversing on us. We are near support levels, so it is possible that it could bounce back up from here. Let's see what the news is on it. Well, at least from here, it's not really telling us much. This was up a while ago. This is back from June the 21st. So we don't really see news, at least coming out through here yet, but it's something that, let's look intraday. WEBULL doesn't necessarily carry all the news either. For a smaller company like this, I've mentioned Twitter before as being a place to look and see what's going on. For the people who passionately follow an individual stock, they're going to sniff out a lot of that information much sooner. So then you'll see more of what they have to say. This could easily, I mean, where we have support right around 1220, this could easily drop from here because we have sort of a bearish flag, at least in this intraday look. We could see it drop down to that 1220 mark. But look at the volumes. We actually had huge volume here to close the market on Friday relative to everything else that we see for that day. There we go. Big green candle from open to close, 3 million shares traded, which would have been the majority of shares for that day. And then today the volume's out of it. So honestly, on these low volume, this could be a very low conviction sell-off that we have here and something that could be easily reversed. So I would keep that in mind for GNOG. Short interest. There we go. As of 6:15, it looks like we have a little over between 2.2 and 2.3 million shares shorted. 2.232. Okay. So 2.2 million shares shorted. Where were we at before? 514, 518, no, 528, I mean. Okay. So we should be coming up on another short report very soon. For GNOG, it looks like it has raised over time. So this could be something where we see that shorting taking place, and it could be pushing down the price. We'll just have to see how that plays out for us. All right, what else? CRISPR rocking about 8% right now. Okay. Again, awesome win for Genomics in the treatment of it was liver disease this time, and it was using CRISPR's technology, but it was through Intellia. NTLA would be the company that you're looking for there, and they're up 46% from the previous close today. So Genomics in general is moving in sympathy with that, and I've shown ARKG, which is the Genomics ETF through ARK Innovation. The fact that that's up as well with it, and many of the companies that are in it, and BNGO is sort of having a double win, we'll call it, why they're up about 6% today, is from the genomics news that we have from Intellia, and then also the listing into the Russell 2000 small cap. All right. XPeng, I think that we're getting excellently positioned, and I mentioned this before with NEO. Delivery news, I don't know the numbers as well for XPeng. I know that they had excellent delivery news coming out in about May's deliveries on June the 1st, and so now it's about July the 1st delivery reports for June. So what we're looking for is either that they match up and the price sort of holds, or we can see this price action in anticipation of strong numbers coming out for those deliveries for XPeng. So with that, this is very much like NEO. We could see Pac Bio. Yeah, I should have mentioned Pac Bio. Thank you, Taco, for the genomics plays. But yeah, Xpeng, NEO, Lee, they're probably all looking about the same. But Xpeng and NEO are in that mid 40s price area right now, and a beat on the deliveries that they expected could send us up to that $50 mark. Again, that's with the right market bias. So if there's something that depresses all EV, clean energy, maybe that infrastructure is being affected or something like that, I don't know. I can't guess what all is going to happen throughout the week, at least as far as the macroeconomics and the different news that comes out in the political spheres that are out there, or maybe we have more tensions between U.S. and China or something like that. However, assuming that all goes well with the outside factors, beating those delivery numbers for Xpeng and NEO could send us up to that $50 mark. So we could go up another 10% on each one from where they're currently at when we get those delivery numbers on Thursday. And I believe, and I said this before if you were watching, but if you weren't watching, I'll say it again. I believe we get those numbers because they are from China. I believe we get those before the market opens. So we should see even the pre-market being affected. If they come out during the market hours or even after the market, then that's when you can really see those big impacts. If they fail to meet their deliveries and the semiconductor shortage, for example, was stronger than it was believed to be, then those are things that could also affect us and cause us to drop down. Honestly, depending on what the numbers are like, maybe it could drop us down below that $40 mark for Xpeng or NEO. I don't anticipate that. We'll either fall in line or we'll get a beat. Those are my two calls on it. And I'm really, because you don't want to oversell yourself with projections. Instead, you want to have reasonable or slightly understated projections. So when NEO's like, hey, that 21,000 to 22,000 vehicles delivered in Q2, we're totally going to hit it still. We still fully expect that we'll hit those numbers, despite the fact that May deliveries were a little bit lower than expected. June's going to make up for it, which, as I said before, is going to be a record-setting number of deliveries for June. If they're able to put in the 8,200 plus vehicles that it would take to hit that top end estimate of 22,000 vehicles for the quarter, that'd be absolutely wonderful. And honestly, it puts them between Q1 and Q2. So first half of 2021, it puts them less than halfway towards their goals of 95,000 vehicles that Goldman Sachs expects. So really, if they can hit that 100,000 mark by the end of 2021, we're going to see a lot of really serious bullish price action for NEO. I know this is Xpeng's charts here, but they are going to be related. Here, let's put Lee up there. Actually, I have him over here. I can click on maybe. There we go. I actually have a very nice looking chart for Lee. And we have, wow. Okay, so we have a room for about 10% yet for Lee as well. So depending on what their deliveries look like, we could see them hit the high 30s by this week's close. Again, assuming that everything goes well for external factors, that the internal factors that they can help, such as deliveries, if they come out with strong numbers, we could have a really excellent day. What are they sitting at percentage-wise? About 6% like the rest of them. Not bad. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla took a while to break out of the 500s and low 600s. That it has gapped up, and now it's sort of barcoding a little bit on us. And this is one, we're getting close to that $700 mark. And with good deliveries coming out about Tesla on July the 1st, then, well, we can easily break that 700 mark. And then I think 710 is about the line where we hit resistance again. So that's it's about $20 up from where we're at right now. And while that's not an enormous jump for Tesla, making it up above the $700 mark is important for Tesla. So that's something we want to continue to watch. We want to see this fast moving average here, this blue one on top, the 50 period. We want to see that starting to turn around and go positively slope for us. We're trading above the fast and the slow moving averages here. Good thing. They can both act as support for us, but the more bullish confirmation we have, the better, and the more price action we could see coming out of that. I think that the second half of 2021 is going to be excellent for EVs in general, between infrastructure and rotating out of the semiconductor shortage. Looks like we have a support wall for Tesla, by the way, at about $686. Where's the bottom of these? All right, right around 670 or so, it looks like, at least on the charts, where we have that sort of support. Tesla recalls and no one cares. Yeah, it seems like a recall, like if there's already negative news coming out about Tesla, like that, they'll throw on a recall and then it'll be like, oh, look, and now they have a recall. And then, you get further price dropping and more complaining, more selling. But when things are positive, something like a recall, and it depends on what sort of recall it is and how major it is and how it impacted the safety of the drivers and everything like that, or the safety of the people on the roadways. That can definitely impact what we see in their price action. They're up about 2.5%, but remember that they're up enormously over the Chinese EVs. They're not going to experience the same price action because they're already trading at a much higher multiple. But that's something to watch. The fact that they're having a 2.5% day right now for something with as large of a market cap as they have, something like over 600 billion market cap or something. That's a huge day. Elon's birthday. Happy birthday, Elon. You're a little bit richer according to your net worth. All right, guys, it's about 10:30. I'm gonna start wrapping things up here. Let me see. Where'd Roblox come back? They're up almost 8% as well. Nice. Very strong day. It looks like tech is having a great day overall. When we watch these high growth plays take place, so seeing that 8% back up into the 90s range is absolutely wonderful for Roblox. If they go back up over 100 in the short term, I'll likely sell off my holding on them and then wait for the next buying opportunity. I think their current high price target is $103. So it was up here before. I should have sold. I held on to it anyway. I kept saying, I think I'll sell it. I think I'll sell it. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. And I don't think I'm going to miss that opportunity completely. I think it's going to come back around again. If we keep on seeing that push in tech and in high growth, we'll easily see that come up again in the near future with that push behind it. And that will give me that other opportunity to sell it off. And then likely we'll get some sort of big inflation news or something that scares everybody. And then we'll get a sell and then an opportunity to buy back in. At least that's how I can see things playing out. It's very plausible in my mind that we could definitely see something like that take place. That's not going to be just a straight shot up for tech through 2021, but I do expect a strong finish for it. All right, I'm going to call it a close, guys. I hope you have a great day. Remember, no live streams from me until July the 7th when I'm back from my honeymoon. I've talked with my wife a little bit about, having some spare moments that I might make some videos. They won't be the same videos that I would put out normally for YouTube, because I don't know if I'm going to record on this camera or if I'm going to record on my cell phone, but I'll still be tracking the markets, see what's taking place, interacting in my Discords from time to time, all the while still enjoying myself on that honeymoon. So I appreciate you guys being here, and thank you for stopping by, and I hope you found this enlightening. Have a great day. I'll see you when I get back from Jamaica. Thank you, Taco.